Chat podcast. Oh, hit the mic. Sorry. I'm Max Duarte, and my son Gavin is the tech guy back there. He's doing the producing and the engineering of the podcast. And I'm here interviewing my wife, Suzi Duarte, on her Corgi expertise. Suzi?
I'm Suzi, and I love Corgis.
Yeah, she's got a Facebook page, SoCal Corgis, on Facebook, and SoCalCorgis.com is the website. And right now we've got 2 litters, one from Layla and one from Daisy. Daisy had 4 pups, and
Yes.
Layla had 8.
8.
Yep. All right, cool. So, too loud?
Very good.
Okay, good. All right. So, tell me about these pups today. What was going on? I noticed that Layla's pups are having a whole new environment.
Well, they hit a certain age. They're 18 days old now, and they're crawling out of the whelping box. So I had to take the whelping box down because they were crawling out. It's not a very big lip that they have to get over, but I don't want them to fall over and hurt themselves. So I took the whelping box down, which was a little bit of a project. I got everything set up, and then they started eating Layla's food, which is kibble that I leave out for her all the time, and that wasn't going to work out. So I had to rethink my plan. So we ended up putting just the front part of the whelping box, attached it to the exercise pen so the puppies can be out, have plenty of room, and Layla can get away from the puppies, because that's another issue. If Layla can't get away from the puppies, there will always be 2 or 3 just bugging her for snacks. And they get exhausted. They have a way to lay down so that the feeding stations aren't available, but the poor girls. So
They've got these puppies just climbing on them, and they've got nails now, right?
Oh,
that you
well,
have to trim?
they've always had them, but yeah, they need to be trimmed, and they grow fast and they're sharp. So as they're nursing, they like to knead with their little claws and toes, and it's hard on the moms. So, and I was trying to figure 12 puppies all together. It's math. There's a whole bunch of toes and toenails that need to be trimmed.
It's math.
It's math.
What about, speaking of trimming toes, what about teeth? Are those coming in?
Not yet.
So she's pretty good right now. How soon do those come in?
Oh God, I don't know. They'll start coming in anytime now, but within about a week or 2, they'll be coming in.
They'll start to irritate her with the teeth.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. So when do they start eating on their own?
They'll start eating on their own. These puppies, they're trying right now. Well, and they're 2 weeks old, a little over 2 weeks old. At about 3 weeks, I'll start adding some baby rice cereal, organic baby rice cereal, and oats. I like to do oats. There are some good things in there for puppies in that. And we'll start with that, mixing with the formula, puppy formula.
Oats, that's a grain, though.
It is a grain, but for puppies, there are some essential nutrients in that. Yeah.
Uh-oh. And so so the puppies eat oats and what did you say?
Well, rice, human baby rice cereal. I get organic, and some oat cereal, very fine. Mix it in with the formula, and they'll start lapping it up. They were lapping water today for the first time. They got out. They got out in Layla's area, and yeah, they were just being dogs.
When do they get puppy food?
They'll get puppy food more like at 5 weeks old, closer to 5 weeks old. And then what I'll do with that, I'll start incorporating it. I'll put it in the blender. I'll use the kibble, put it in the blender. Then I'll put it with hot water. It'll get nice and soft. I also sometimes use canned food, but it is really hard to find a canned food without anything in there that I don't want to give them. So usually I'll take the kibble, I'll grind that up. Also the primal, that freeze-dried primal I was telling you about, that one's really good also.
So the canned food, huh? There's a lot. There are preservatives, or what is it?
There are preservatives in a lot of them. There's a lot of chicken. Most of them contain chicken. There are some good brands out there, but I believe I can do just as well with with what I'm doing with the kibble and the primal.
It's just more work.
Yeah, because you just don't open a can and go. I mean, it's not that big a deal. But there's some soaking involved and some time involved with it.
Right. Right on. Yeah. Cool. So we have to trim toenails, and luckily we don't have to file down teeth. But one thing that's pretty controversial and is kind of weighs heavy on you is docking the tails.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the purpose why did people begin docking tails?
The reason in herding breeds is that they can be injured when working. The dogs are chasing cattle, sheep, whatever through the fence. You slam the gate closed. Last thing through is the tail. Also getting stepped on. The corgis are really low to the ground, and with a tail, their tail's a beautiful tail, like a German Shepherd or maybe even a Husky, and so they've got this proportionately long tail that and low to the ground. With the maneuvers that they do, they can easily be stepped on by livestock and injured.
I can see how that would happen. I've seen.
Yeah,
I've seen our dogs do like a lot of tuck and rolls to get out of the way.
Yes.
And our horses play with them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's quite acrobatic. But I can see where if they had a tail, it could get in the way. It would
Yes.
get in the way.
Yeah.
Definitely. In Europe, I understand they're not allowed to dock tails anymore.
It's illegal now, and there are serious consequences to docking tails by the veterinarians and owners themselves.
What about when they show dogs in Europe?
They have the tail.
They have a tail.
Yeah.
But here, if you show a dog and it has a tail,
It's not, because it's not to the breed standard for the Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and a big one, a lot of them, the Rottweiler also, they don't show as well.
Frieslands.
Mm-hmm. They don't show as well. The judges are looking for that and the American Kennel Club shows they're looking for that standard with the no tail. Now corgis
With a docked tail.
with the docked tail. The corgis can genetically produce puppies with no tails.
Soaking Queenslands, I remember my friends saying that.
Yeah, and I've never had one. I don't know anybody personally who has had it, but you can do the DNA testing. You can find the dogs that carry the genetics to produce that. Now, if you want to produce a 100% tailless litter, bobtails, you are going to lose puppies in utero because the genetics involved with that bobtail causes puppies to die in utero. And although it's not usually a problem for the mom, you're going to get a smaller litter. And also the tails are weird lengths. Like you could get a very short one, or you could get about a 2-inch long tail, bobtail. So then you're looking at another issue.
Another weird looking. Mm-hmm. Looks like it was just a botched.
Right. Now you can also breed for the puppies in the litter. There'll be some with tails, some with bobtails, and then you'll have the full litter. But a full litter, but you're going to get tails and tailless puppies.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about there's a dewclaw? What is a dewclaw?
A dewclaw is a little toenail that's on the basically kind of the wrist of the dog, and although it's controversial whether it's has a purpose. There are breeds of working dogs that use those. Climbing dogs, dogs that are in the mountains, it does serve some purpose. There's a lot more to it than that as far as when you remove that. They're saying that some muscles can atrophy because there's no longer anything attached to those ligaments. Now, the reason that it's often removed is they can be injured also.
They can cause an injury?
They can get stuck on things. Now, I've used this one before because I have heard this one a few times where it's usually a small dog up on the couch, jumps off the couch, and the little dewclaw gets stuck on grandma's Afghan that she knitted or crocheted or whatever, and it'll pull out. It's very painful, and it can, require surgical removal and things like that later on.
If that
happens, yeah.
If that happens. Is there a nail there that you have to actually trim down too?
Yes, if you don't remove the dewclaws, there is a nail, and often people forget about that. They forget they have to trim that little nail too, and
that would be a big help if you kept that trimmed.
Yes, So if not, it'll curl around and grow into the dog's leg, and the leg.
It's a trip. Like, how do they take care of that naturally in nature?
That's interesting. I'm curious about that, because it's not like on the toenails where they can wear them down
By walking around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We did dock all the tails from these pups, and this is the first time that you actually you went in with the pups.
Yeah, I usually, I planned this, is I usually have a friend that will take the puppies in, and I wait with the mom out in the car. Well, you don't really need to take the mama dog anyways, and they usually just sleep. The tails are done on day 2 or 3 of the puppies, when the puppy's 2 or 3 days old.
Right.
Now, I always thought it'd be very traumatic for a mama dog, but no, they sleep and relax.
They're happy to get over it.
Yeah. And then, so with Daisy and Layla, both, we left them home and took the puppies. And I decided I would hold the puppy. And
as it happens,
as the tail is being docked. And the reason I didn't want to do it before is the reason I didn't want to do it after. It's
traumatic.
It's traumatic. It was traumatic for them, and it's traumatic for me. And in the past, when I haven't been the one in with the puppy, I heard them screaming from the car. You can hear them yelp. And then on the way,
It's okay. I know some people try to justify it by saying, "Oh, it's like cutting a nail,"
or piercing a baby's ears, which I didn't pierce my baby's ears. She was
6, I think.
She was 5. Like, that's a big difference. But she wanted it done.
But still, not that piercing a baby's ears is that as horrible as cutting a tail off. I don't think. I think the tails are quite.
You know what? I was going to videotape
worse.
it, but it's really, I didn't want to be too in your face with it. But it's a big deal.
You could feel a lot of the, because you held on to the puppies as they were trying to get away.
I hold the puppy upside down, and the tech clamps the tail very close, and the puppy cries at that point. And then she takes surgical scissors and cuts the tail off. And I can feel, because I'm holding the puppy, I can feel that. And then you turn the puppy over. And they finish doing that. And then she does stitches, and the puppy cries during the stitches too.
So needless to say, we're not docking any more puppies. So unfortunately, for you people who want to get a SoCal Corgi dog with a dog tail, this is not going to happen. This is our last litter. So if the dogs still sell, we stay in business. Or it's a hobby anyways. We continue to do this. If the dogs don't sell with the tails, we're not going to do this anymore. Right?
Right.
But hopefully there's enough people out there that want them with the tails, because we love the dogs, and we don't want to change breeds. We do this because Suzi loves corgis.
Yeah, and when the first corgi that I saw was probably now 765, about 9 years ago, and it was a corgi, and his name was Clay. And he was at a horse ranch that I had one of my horses in training at. And he was just a wonderful dog. And honestly, I know the corgi butt is a big deal for a lot of people. I didn't think so much about that. Of course, I noticed everything about the dog, but it was more his personality. How wonderful he was with my kids. My kids were like 9 and 7 years old. The dog was there with the horses. The dog was there. There were cats and chickens and all kinds of commotion going on. And he was just the coolest dog. He did have the ears. He did have the expression, but it was just the general being of that corgi. And of course, I went home and took all the personality tests, and everyone said the corgi was the dog for me.
And now we found out they come in all personalities.
They have lots of different personalities.
Some are
Yeah.
cool. Some are
Yeah.
just bad. Some are funny. Some are cynical.
Oh, yeah.
Daisy likes to look at you out of the corner of her eye.
Yeah, she dashes my self-confidence
Oh
daily.
my God.
Yeah.
Where others are super loving, Summer will jump in your lap and she'll do anything just to be around you.
Hmm. And they're the ones that look at me like I can do no wrong. Like,
Yes.
everything I do is great.
And some just don't care what you do.
Some don't care.
They don't care what you think. They
Yeah.
just, they're their own
Squirrel.
people. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so that was the big topic for today. How many minutes is that, Gavin?
It's about 15.
15? All right, guys. We don't want to overwhelm you. We've got more to say, but we want to get about 8 of these in. And then after that, we're going to stick to a regular schedule. We're going to figure out what that is. It's going to be twice a week, and the podcast will be a little longer. But for now, I want to do about 8 at 15 minutes just to see if we can get on iTunes with these and have some fun. All right? Thank you very much. Is there anything else you want to say, Suzi?
No.
Okay. Gavin?
Want to grab a puppy?
Want to grab a puppy? Oh, I forgot. Yeah, good job. We're going to showcase a puppy every day. Susie's going to go grab a puppy. Well, I could have said all that while she was grabbing a puppy because now I don't have much to say. These guys are getting big, though. They're getting to be really fun. I think I said that last time. Yeah, at the end of the last podcast. But
They are.
they are. Yeah. This is cool. I'm anxious to see what they look like with the tail. I haven't even looked that up.
I've seen them. I like them.
You like them?
I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah?
It's just different.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's the
I think
same
it's
dog.
something people might look for, you know?
Yeah, I think it's something we should stop doing. So I'm glad we are. What's this guy's name or nickname?
This is, I call him Marlin.
Wait, you said you brought
Is
him
this
out the
one
other
from
day. Yeah,
yesterday?
you brought him yesterday.
Darn it, I couldn't remember. I just grabbed the closest one. Well, no, this one.
You brought the same one.
He was the closest one.
All right.
But anyways, here he is again. But it's brighter today, so.
It is. Yeah, it was very dark yesterday. We realize now that we got to do this in the daylight. Oh, poor Martin.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh,
Sorry, buddy.
poor little guy. Poor little tailless. All right. Well,
All right.
now you got to see Marlon again. Thanks and see ya.